Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from ZoZoStockWatch.com, and this is going to be your Let's Get Ready for the week ahead, September 9th through September 13th. 13th. So overall, a very good week for the markets that passed on the news that the surge in the U.S. Markets are setting up for trade talks here. So that coming from the New York Post. We had the jobs number come out Friday. U.S. job growth slows more than expected in August. And for Friday, the Dow Jones 30 was plus 69, the transports minus 67, the Nasdaq minus 14, and the S&P 500 was plus 3. So overall, good week for the markets. Stocks closed little changed on Friday after that disappointing jobs number, but rise for the second straight week on the markets. SPY was indecisive on Friday, pretty much an inside day for the markets. Market is in a recovery phase, and right now a lot of the markets are breaking out. We'll show you that later on as we get to some charts. We're still a headline captive market and a Twitter prisoner market. Any tweet at any time can change the course of the market. And so we'll still see what we're going to have for the week ahead. We'll go ahead and go through it. As far as Friday, from FinViz, courtesy of FinViz, here's your heat map. Mixed markets. We had oils getting a little bit of buying. The FANG names were down on Friday. Some negative news coming out for Facebook and Google. State AG to launch antitrust probes into Google and Facebook. So that sent those two stocks down. Facebook was down almost 2% on the day. Google down about 0.5% on the day. Microsoft also moving down. Some of the banks moving down. Bank America down over 1% on the day. JP Morgan was green fractionally, so kind of a mixed bag. Visa continues to move up. Visa up 0.5% on the day. Costco had a very strong day. On Friday, up over 2%. Home Depot pushing back up over 1.33% for the day. We had Charter Communications up almost 1% on the day. Boeing having a decent day on Friday. It was up a little under 1%. RTN, Raytheon Corporation in the aerospace and defense sector, that was up over almost 3% on the day. So that was your markets on Friday. We also had Fed Chair Jerome Powell speak on Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and he painted a rosy picture, pretty much. The U.S. economy after Trump came out with a tweet on Friday, pretty much saying, that he's not doing the job well, and kind of a disrespectful tweet by President Trump. But Jerome Powell came out. He was doing a speech in Switzerland, and so these are some of the comments. Our main expectation is not that there will be a recession, Powell said during a forum in the University of Zurich, Switzerland. I mentioned there are these risks, and we are monitoring them closely. All right, so pretty much, dovish by Powell there on the side of the markets. And for the week ahead, we'll go ahead and get through some of the stuff we need to watch out for. No Fed speak next week at all. This calendar, courtesy of the Trade Exchange, pretty straightforward as far as economic. We do get the China CPI and PPI coming out on September 9th. We also have Japan's machine orders coming out on Wednesday, the 11th. Pretty straightforward as far as economic information for the American U.S. markets. Nothing, major there. We do get CPI on Thursday at 8:30 on Thursday the 12th. PPI at 8:30 Wednesday for the U.S. markets. And then as far as earnings season, coming to a kind of a slow halt here. But we do have some names reporting Tuesday after the bell. Zscaler, symbol ZS, Restoration Action Hardware, RH, GameStop will be reporting. Dave and Buster's will be reporting Tuesday after the bell. Symbol there, PLAY. We get Aurora Cannabis reporting, ACB. Symbol there after the bell on Wednesday. Kroger's KR before the bell on Thursday. Broadcom, Oracle, both will be reporting Thursday after the bell. ORCL and AVGO for Broadcom. And that's some of your earnings that will be coming up for the week ahead. So let's go ahead and look at some of the market action from Friday and the past week. So we did finally get that breakout above this range. We've been talking about on the videos how we were holding above that 282, holding the 150 SMA, the orange brown dotted line you see here. We were battling there, holding above 285 most recently. Then we finally broke out above that 50 SMA on the news that China and the U.S. were going to be having talks in October, but kind of an inside day on Friday. Indecisive candle here on Friday. We're just a little bit away from the all-time highs here on the market. All-time high for the SPY, 302.23. We closed at around 298.05. So we are just below the record highs for the SPY. If we go ahead and look at it on the weekly chart, we are holding back above now the 10 SMA. We were holding the 34 SMA on moving average on the weekly, but now we powered through, and like I said, we're just a little bit away from the all-time high. Qs also popping back above the 10 SMA on the weekly chart here. The all-time highs for the Qs, 195.55. We're at 191.59. If we look at it on the daily chart, for the Q. So we're back above the 50 SMA, back above the momentum moving averages here. Currently, the recent high on the Qs was in 192.33. So bulls want to get us back above that area for further continuation. Bears would love to break us back below the 50 SMA and get us back down into that chop range again for the bears. So we'll see. As far as some of the sectors for the week that passed, gas had a very good week this week, up over 9% for the week. The marijuana ETF was up 7% as some of those stocks climbed back from the lows. The OIH was moving up this week, up over 6% for the week. The semis clearly breaking out of this range here, back above that 115 spot for the SMH. So for the week, that was up over 4% for the week. Robo in the automation ETF, that was up 3%. The downside in some of the sectors that we watch, the VIX, more volatility came out of the market. As you can see, we have a 15 handle. We were down 21% on the week in the VIX. We had been above 20 on the VIX volatility, and then pretty much 3 straight days down as the volatility came out of the markets. Still with a 15 handle though, so complacency back in the markets. TAN for the week down about almost 3% for the week. The TLT giving up some ground, but still around the 20 SMA here. As the TLT moves up, bond yields moves down, and so TLT holding right around that 20 SMA on the TLT. In some of the sectors for the week for the SPY, the XRT, the retail sector having a bounce back week, up 3%. The XOP, oil and gas exploration, that was up 3%, but a lot of work to do on for the oil and exploration. Still trending down, still below the 50 SMA, still below all the major moving averages. The 200 is sloping down on the 200 SMA. To the upside, we also had the XLY. That is the consumer discretionary ETF, holding up okay, holding above the 50 SMA, just a little bit away from the all-time highs here of around that 125 area for the XLY. To the downside for the week, the XBI continues to move down. Looks in a bearish market here on the XBI, below the 20 SMA. Looks like it's bear flagging here on the daily chart. The IBB also trending down below all the major moving averages on the XBI and the IBB. Then we had for the week, we had the XHE, the healthcare equipment stocks, battling at this 200 SMA currently for that. That was down a little under 1% for the week. Let's go ahead and look at the IWM. Real fast. So we have the IWM bouncing back, holding above, that we did break that 145 at one point during the sell-off in the IWM, but they bounced it right back. So we're watching that 145 area still on the IWM. We bounced back up to the 200 SMA. We popped up to the 50 SMA, got rejected there. So right now we're holding around that 200 SMA on the IWM. As far as the IWC, the micro caps trending down below all the moving averages here, the 50, the 200, have gotten back above the 10 and the 20 and some of the momentum moving averages, still below this $88 level and holding above this $84 level. So we're still in this kind of trending down range on the IWC, the micro cap. Let's go and get into some of your best stocks for the week that passed. I like to do this so I can build up my watch list for the next week. I like to see what stocks were moving up or moving down. Gives me an idea of what sectors maybe I should be watching. If I see some stocks that have been moving up for the week, it gives me an idea of maybe if I should put them on my watch list or not. But first one up was this INMD. Had a very good week, up over 21% for the week. ZUMZ. Zooms was up on earnings this week. Their earnings came out. This stock jumping 18% for the week. TPR. Tapestry, this stock jumping 15% for the week. They were down hard on their earnings. Looks like they're getting some new directors in there at Tapestry, so this one popping up 15% on that name. DOCU also popping this week on earnings, up 21%. Big move up there for DocuSign after their earnings were released. Lulu. They raised guidance. Their earnings beat Lululemon, LULU. Big pop, up 10% on this name. So strong move there for that retailer. NAV came out with earnings. This stock moving up 15% for the week. Still below the 200 SMA here on the weekly chart for Navistar, but did pop on earnings. GIII, a retailer trying to bounce here off the bottom. GIII, we had a bottom here and a bottom here around that $20 area. Now they're trying to push it back up. For the week, it was up 18% on that name. The data storage stocks had a very good week last week. STX popping 8%. WDC climbing up over 9% for the week. Micron having a very good week last week, up 8% for MU Micron Technologies. MIK, another retailer bouncing from the dead here. Retailer, Michaels, this stock jumping 37% for the week. You see the technical damage that was done on this, but look at all this volume coming into the name on MIK on the weekly chart here. So, I don't know if this is going to have a further continuation move, but big move, big volume coming in on that one. Maybe one to keep on your watch. CONN also came out with earnings last week, up 20% on this retailer for the week, and their move up. Box jumping this week, up 19% on this week as they took a stake in this name. BOX moving up 19%, big move up. COUP had earnings climbing 7%. Coupa Software jumping 7% after they released. CLDR, Carl Icahn is involved in this name, up 23%, coming up off the bottom here on CLDR. PANW, also Palo Alto Networks came out with earnings last week. This stock jumping 6% for the week. Signa Jeweler, this stock had been trending down, getting crushed, still below the 10 SMA on the weekly, but expanding volume here. It was moving up 15% for the week. HOME came out with earnings jumping over 7% for the week that passed. At Home, Takeover Chatter is also out there on this name, but right now just Chatter GW Guidewire, GWRE, also a big move up here, up 14% for the week on this name. TLRY and some of the cannabis names were popping this week. We had Tilray jumping this week, up 25%. CGC making a comeback this week, bouncing up 17% for the week. APHA, this stock jumping this week, up 13% for the week. CRON, Cronus Group, also bouncing here on our weekly chart, up about 8% for the week. Hexo, also in the marijuana space, jumping 15% for the week. LCI had a nice continuation week. This stock moving up further after they announced earnings last week. This stock even further continuation move here. A lot of volume coming into the name, up 28% for the week on LCI. And that's some of your best stocks for the week that passed. As far as some of your worst stocks for the week that passed, we'll start out with Lyft, LYFT. That stock dropping 9% for the week. You see it broke below that $50 area on our weekly chart and headed further down. Uber also continued down this week, not to the extreme of Lyft, but down another 2% for the week. As you can see, that one has been straight down for the past few weeks on Uber. At some point, there will be bounces. Looks like Uber is trying to hold this 31 area on Uber, so maybe one to watch for bounce moves back up. Pins did not have a good week this week. A social media stock dropping 12% for the week. QURE also dropping down 18% for the week on that one. JetBlue, this stock moving down in the airline space, down 4% for the week. CLF also dropping 9% for the week on CLF. Sienna came out with earnings this week. They dropped this one down over 3% for the week. DOMO came out with earnings, just got annihilated here, down 36% on DOMO. Possible support area down here in the $14 area on Domo. Maybe keep an eye on that one for a bounce on DOMO. Another name that took a hit after they released earnings this week was Zoom Video Communications, ZM. That was down 7% for the week. Gold dropping, GOLD, not gold the commodity, but gold the stock. Barrick Gold was down 8% for the week. AEO, they came out with earnings, a retailer. The stock dropping 5% for the week. MDB came out with earnings in the software space, and it took down quite a few software stocks this week after their earnings came out. This stock dropped 8%, so this affected some of the other software stocks this week. Work came out. Slack is the name of this company. WRK is the symbol. This stock dropping 4 or 5% for the week, really taking a hit. A recent IPO. SMAR came out with earnings, another software in the software application space, dropping 17% for the week on this name. And WKHS, electric vehicle maker, after that big push up for the past few weeks, this stock profit taking coming in, dropping over 19% for the week on Workhorse Group, this stock in the electric vehicle space. And that's some of your worst stocks for the week. So I'll be back at it with another video in a little while. It's Sunday as I'm making this video, so we'll be back at it with our stocks to watch list for Monday. That'll be coming up in about an hour or so. So right now, the markets did break out of this range. We're back above the 50 SMA, but right now, we're being held, I guess, hostage to, the various headlines and tweets that continue to come out. This week, the China headlines were positive this week. The tweets were positive. Kudlow was out on Friday saying the China phone call went very well, and that we have the China and the U.S. October meetings. Those are lined up. So right now we had some positive news as far as the trade talks, but any headline can switch us right back down again. So we have to pick our spots. As far as swing has been okay, but like I said, you have to pick your spots in swing trading. Don't put on too many positions because any headline can break us right back down. All right, if this video has helped you out, hit that like button down below on this video. You'll see a thumbs up. Please hit that thumbs up. Would greatly appreciate it. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, and that helps us to grow. And we'll be doing another video in a little bit, Stocks on Watch. This is Mike from ZoZoStockWatch.com. Have a very good day trading Monday, and we'll be back at it with another video in a little bit.